EDGAR CAYCE Symbology, an interpretation of Revelation. Symbology. 7 churches. 7 spiritual centers, the endocrine system of the body, but more in a collective sense, named after the 7 churches established in Asia Minor. 7 spirits. 7 guiding intelligences, or mind cells of each church, or center. Throne. Here means point of contact with the Supreme Being. Universal. Faithful witness. First begotten of dead. Prince of kings of earth. The leader soul of mankind. First to have completed entire human experience. Alpha and Omega. The Overself. The superconscious mind of John. In the Spirit. Meditation. Alpha and Omega. Overself. Definition of the Overself. The Overself is the self-conscious, individualized portion of God, which is the unchanging core of each entity, the superconscious mind. Churches. Ephesus. Gonads. Smyrna. Leiden. Pergamos. Adrenals. Thyatira. Thymus. Sardis. Thyroid. Philadelphia. Pineal. Laodicea. Pituitary. 7 golden candlesticks. Same as 7 churches plus mind cells of each. Golden girdle. Worth. White hair. Wisdom. Eyes of flame. Perception. Feet as brass. Understanding. 7 stars. Control of key points of body. These are all attributes of the Overself. Superconscious. Two-edged sword. Power rising from centers applied either constructively or destructively according to the will. Interpretation. Verses 1-3 form prelude to work written by someone, possibly a monk, in later centuries. Verses 4-7. John is hereby giving his revelation, as a guidebook, and a testimony to the 7 churches of Asia, of his own experiences while in meditation. These congregations were as despairing refugees, persecuted and some fallen away, who needed to know a way whereby they could bring into activity the forces of regeneration latent within each individual body. This was the purpose of the book. John's opening greeting serves to introduce, perhaps, the concept of the Christ consciousness from within as being the true author of the book, who is now one with Jesus, the man who became the Christ. He it was, who first fulfilled the pattern of man's evolution, and then turned to redeem and reclaim the rest of the race. Verse 8. Alpha and Omega refers to the plan for all evolution, only partly fulfilled at present, which has within it the power to bring about a successful outcome for man in terms of experience in the world. Verse 9. John now states his position as a fugitive also and in dire straits while living in the Isle of Patmos, to which he had been banished. Verse 10. John explains that he was in meditation on the Lord's day, and what follows takes place within his own body and mind. This is true of the whole book, containing all the images, symbols, and forces described here. Note, the instructor is to be the Overself, the symbol of the higher self, the superconscious mind, which is endowed with universal consciousness, and is the real entity that always survives physical death. Verse 11. The actual physical 7 churches of Asia are to be the recipients of the ensuing book, but they will also be used as symbols for the 7 glandular centers in the human body, where the physical forces of the body, the mental forces and the spiritual all come together. These are the key spots throughout the body, known as the endocrine system. A church is a meeting place. Verses 12 to 17. Through the imagery of the candlesticks, John is shown that within each center is a mind cell, the light of which would symbolize intelligence, which is in charge of the functions of each center. These in turn are in the control of the superconscious mind with supreme intelligence. Verses 18 to 20. The overself or the superconscious mind explains that it is in perfect control of all physical and mental states, and John is urged to describe his findings for the use of others, the relationships of all the parts of this own body to the whole.